the endless story, that we're gonna talk about. And we all know the story, right? But I'm gonna preach again because the love story is touching not only for us, for the like a song say, "Pyo yu makona." You can never try to start telling this story. And but we already know this is a lot of um, so we're gonna talk about the love of God, God love, the love of Jesus Christ, and the love of the Holy Spirit. They all three, in triune God, they all work together, and in our life. And so that was, God demonstrated, His love through, His Son Jesus Christ, and to be able to understand, the Holy Spirit worked in us with our spirit, and that showed us and enlightened us, that way, because um, in the way God working is we can understand with the human brain, or human, knowledge. Yeah, they also like God says, mine is, like in height, like my mind and your mind is like the earth and the heaven. We are so different apart, so we can understand, the words of His hands. So the only we can understand it through His Holy Spirit. Uh, so we all know that the Bible, the very greatest Bible verse. We all know that the John 3:16. We are all most kid, even our oldest people use it. John 3:16. We all let's read together. Not just we can just say the Bible verse and then we're gonna jump over to a different one. So. Uh, So I want to read, the Bible verse, and you got John 3, 16 through 17. And now the 16 say, "For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whoever believes in Him shall not perish but have everlasting life." And the 17 say, "For God did not send His Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through Him might be saved." So when we look at it, that our human, we not even, worthy. We are so wicked in us. We not even, worthy to be loved. Actually, we should be, thrown in the pit, the fire, and but, you know, and and also God know that we, where before He created us, God know that we're gonna be, rebelling Him, and we're not gonna, go against His law, and however, because of God, He want to share His love to someone, but. When we look at it, we're gonna say why He not share with His, the angel, all those, but because the angel, the purpose, God created the angel because of that. I don't know how He created it, right? Because we know the Bible told us He created human with the, the dust. He formed it. He breathed in it. We became a living soul and, a living creature. But I don't know. I had no idea. That's all beyond my knowledge. So I don't know how God created, the angel. But the angel, the purpose for the angel is, to serve Him. So He can share His love, like a master and, the slave, like that. So He can share His love with the, his servant, the angel. So that way He have to create, a different, like a thing, like us, like a human. So that way He can, demonstrate, show His love, share His love, so that's what how, become. But, because of God want to, have a good relationship with us. And we already know, about the story about Adam and Eve in the, the Garden of Eden, right? Because before this, the rebellion, the God that don't eat. Then when they stay listening to God, every, in the sunset, in the cold, God come into them and have a relationship with them, right? But when they go rebellion, God, and they start eating that fruit that God forbidden, because they go against, God, so they can't have a relationship. God even, come to them, but they can't have, talk to face at all, because um, it kind of they become, not really the enemy, but because that they don't listen to God, and they have been, apart because they sin against God. So God is the holy God, so that's why. But, you know, however, God still find a way, to have a relationship with the human, to share, um, to to share His love. That's why He demonstrate, His love. He, because I'm pretty sure, God might be thinking, and He might gonna be go crazy, right? We think about how I'm gonna face all my children, because I want to be with them. I want to have a good relationship. I want to show them how I love them, and I want them to love me back too. So that way we can have together, maybe have a good, family time. But maybe God thinking about so many ways, right? How about this way? No, that's a word. That way, and now you're gonna be like that. And then the only way that He find out that, yeah, I can't find any other, but the only thing I have to sacrifice the one and begotten Son, right? So they have to die for their sin. That is the only way that I can bring them back to me, right? This is how God demonstrates His love, and so that's why He given, He have no other choice. So, right, that's why we're talking about love is, not, taking, um, some songs say that, that the love is not to take it, but to give it, right? But this is the early song that I don't want to, also in Burmese, so I don't want to use in the church, right? Because not really awful, but it's not suit to use it. But I just want to make, because according to the Bible, the love is given away, not to take it. That's why God have to. It mean, in other words, you have to sacrifice yourself for other people. It is mean what is love is. So because and we all know that, I know, because you're young and you never been married, and you have maybe some have our boyfriend, girlfriend, or maybe you have a crush, right? So because when you love someone, you don't think about that, also I love her, I love him, so I'm gonna all everything are gonna be trying to do good for myself, and then not like this, because we all human and we are selfish, right? Everything that we think about, we doing is only for ourselves. Have you ever seen a turtle? I mean, the creature. Every time when the on the sand, especially the sea turtle, right? They never put the sand forward. What they did is they pulled backward underneath their, back to their self. We are the same. We are human. We are the same. We are so selfish. Everything is. Let's say we in a family, when we eat food, we want to grab the bigger one, the greater one, right? And the rest we're going to leave for the other family members. And even, someone else, let's say, in our, maybe we go out with our body, our friends, or maybe other, people, we always, thinking about, let's say you go to, maybe, let's say you ride in a car, right? And, just forget about the driver. You are just a rider, And all we think about is we're going to jump into the front seat first, right? And the rest we're going to leave for the people, That's how we selfish are, But when we, that's about, when we're talking about, when you love someone, and then all those things change. You don't think about yourself at all. Your main focus is someone you love or you crush on, right? So let's say, because when I start, let's say when I start dating, my wife, right? We back in the day, because everything I think about is her, and whatever I do is, for her. You know, I don't, not for myself at all. And because why? I love her. So even my time, my everything, I think about her. In the same way, So that's why when God loved us so much, He never looked for Himself at all. He always in His mind is He thinking about us, how to redeem us back to Him, and how to to have us, to go back to Him. So that's why He always thinking about to give away, sacrifice Himself. In the same way, uh, and the Jesus Christ, He loved us so much, and then because He have no other choice, but to to you know the only way to be able to wash away the sin is with blood, right, with the death. So it means the blood. And now because they can't find no other than a human or animal fishing blood, the precious blood at all. The blood that is the pure blood, the very precious blood is His blood, and that's he had no other choice. So he had to die on the cross and to pour His precious blood out, to wash our sin. That's the only way that we can be purified, and that we have relation, connect back to God. And that's why that's just how the Father and the Son, God the Father and the Son, Jesus Christ, they demonstrate their love, how much He loved us, because that's why He had to sacrifice Himself, not not for them at all, but that's why. Um, that's why God, demonstrate His love, how much He loves us. He when He look at us, He pitied us. He what we call empathy to us. He have a compassion on us. He want to give up hope. This is everything is come out of love. Without love, all those things is never be it come up. Uh, and the same way, when we read the Hosea, I think I chapter, I did chapter 3, right? Let's see. This is how we are, and we are like the Israelite people, right? Um, I think Hosea chapter 3. And this is a story about the prophet, Hosea, because God told him to go and marry, that adultery a woman. Uh, and then, as we know, she was like an adulterous woman, nevertheless, staying in the house, right? And as she be running around, the prophet Hosea, Hosea marry her, and as she all have lived, even they already live together and have children, but she always are what we call the cheating on her husband, even after they're married, right? When Hosea have to travel for for the word of God, he just cheating behind his back, with the other man, and then one day she end up because she run away and all do such a the thing, and she end up being herself as a slave. So that's what the story is. And now because when we look at Hosea chapter 3, 1 through 2. And then the Lord said to me, go again, love a woman who is loved by the lover and is committing adultery, just like the love of the Lord for the children of Israel who took to other gods and loved the rising case of the pagans. So I bought her for myself for 15 shekels of silver and 1.5 homers of barley. So the God told Hosea he end up to go, and buy her wife back, to able to, to bring her back, her wife back to him. And then he had to buy with her, the 15 shekel, and then, one homer, barley. I mean, the kind of gray, they used back in the day, to make bricks. Um, you know, that is, because of God is, when to show us, because of the God is so, upset, and because Israelite, his chosen people go in rebellion, he go against him, and they fought and worship out of God. Then he, Almighty, to him. So that why he's so heartbroken, right? So that he told his prophet Hosea, to marry the Gomer, her name is Gomer. He's a daughter woman, who selling herself, to other men for the money, right? Because I don't think it's an awful thing, especially for the prophet, right? Because but God wanted to show that is how the Israelite people, when to show that you are just like the woman, you are daughter, people, but even you are in this situation, I still love you. That is how God want to demonstrate and show his love to Israelite people. So he told his prophet, Hosea, to marry a daughter woman, whose name Gomer. In the same way, what we are different. We're not different with that, we are daughter with not maybe with a, man and woman, but we are daughter with the thing that's, go against God, rebelling God, like, the war materialism, the everything, it might be, because of, the Bible say that, on this earth is not, not belong to God, right? So that's why when we have to, engage, or if we are, follow, and if we are in love with all these, the early things, and then it means we are adultery. In the presence of God, in the face of God, we are just like the Gomer, right? We just cheating behind, like she's cheating her behind her husband. We cheating behind, not even behind, God. We just cheating right in the presence of God, right? God, because God see everything. But however, God demonstrated, and even in those, God showed them that, yeah, my child, I still love you. So that's why, he sent his one and only son. And also Jesus Christ, demonstrate his love by, giving up his life on the cross for our sins, so that we able, to go back to God and have a reconnection and have a relationship with God. This is how, God, demonstrate his love. And now, the question asked, and now Jesus is going to say, do you love me? And what's your answer going to be? Because when we look at John, chapter 21, 15 to 16, Jesus asked Peter, and he said, the sons of John are Peter, do you love me? For how many times? 3 times, right? And now, the second time that Peter answered very good, right? But the third time he grieved because he been asking for, and that's how we human, right? We've been in love to ask me or to tell just, or maybe even some people try to tell her one thing or maybe ask things, right? 1 or 2 times is good, but you go over like a 3 times, we used to stuff pissed off and mad, right? You already asked me for like so many times, and I already answered, right? It's the same Peter, right? And God, because as long as God, he never certified our answer, he gonna keep asking for, it may be 100 times, 1,000 times, right? So tonight is you and me, God and Jesus Christ ask us a question. Do you love me? And what's your answer gonna be? We're gonna answer to ourselves, right? And our answer gonna be, God gonna also hear our answer. even I'm not here, or maybe you not hear my answer, right? Um, but I hope we all answer, yes, we do, right? Has anyone say, no, God, I don't love you, or Jesus Christ, I don't love you, right here? I don't think so, right? All our answer going to be, um, um, yes, Lord, like a Peter, right? Yes, Lord, I love you. And what did Jesus told him? Okay, feed my lambs. That is a two different, Jesus Christ used. One, the first time he used it, it's a feed my lambs, right? And the second he say that, and when he asked Peter the second time he say that, tend my sheep, and the third time is a feed my sheep, right? What's the two different with the sheep and the lambs? The lamb is the young sheep, right? The sheep is the grow old sheep, yeah. Um, and So if you, and also before we go further, because it's mean, we have to look up, what he mean is, to look after, each other. We are all his sheep, right? His lamb, his sheep. And now we have to look after each other. We have to feed each other. We have to tend each other, you know, um, by to demonstrate how we love you know that Jesus Christ, how we love God. And also in the Bible, because in the Bible, because Jesus say, um, and because in John 14 15 say, if you have a Bible, and that if you love me, keep my commandments. And at 21, 14:21 say, he who has my uh, he who has my commandment and keep them, it is that who love me. So our answer is, we just answer, in our heart, and our answer gonna be also gonna be coming in action. And that is, um, it should be also we're gonna that's it how we demonstrate, because God love he can just say or maybe a word, right? But because he never used only a word. He used a word, and the action come after. To see that, because the God, he said, I love you. He not just stop right there. Because I love you, so I have to sacrifice and I have to give up my only begotten son. You see that? So he has to sacrifice his son. And also Jesus Christ said, I love you, is not stuck right there. And now he gave up his life on the cross to show that how much he loved us. The action come after. Also the same thing when we say we love God, we need to demonstrate how much we love, God. We love Jesus Christ too. That's why, and how we can demonstrate, uh, that we really love, Him. By, the Bible say, if you love me, we keep His commandment. And the commandment we have, not in the one in Old Testament, the new commandment that Jesus Christ has said is in the, we can find in the John, in the Matthew, right? What it said? It say, love your God with all your soul and your mind, and, your heart and your soul and your mind, right? And the second is say, love your neighbor as yourself. That is, the greater commandment. That's the new commandment that, given by, Jesus Christ. And another commandment is say, love one another, right? This is also the commandment. And then the other commandment is says, love your enemy. And they say, pray, who persecute you, and bless. Yeah. Let me go through the Bible because I might be, a little, up, different. Yeah, I say, it say that pray for, those who persecute you and bless those who curse you. But this is Jesus Christ's commandment, right? Because we have to love God first, we have to love our neighbor, and we have to, love each other, as a believer. And then even now those not only believer, we have to love our enemies, and then we have to pray for who persecute you. So that's why Jesus Christ before he gave us his life, right, on the cross. He say, Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing, right? This is the true love. The true love is you never go taking revenge. That's how you sacrifice. You give up yourself and for other people hope, right? But because of sometimes we can't even love each other, right? The worst thing, they say to love your enemy going to be the worst thing, because I can remember when I was young, me and my brother. I mean, we are not enemy, right? We are just born from the same parents, and because we are only like 2.5, almost like 3 years apart. To love each other, yes, sometimes, but we fight all the time, right? Sometimes you have in the middle of the village, right? We live in back in Thailand. And then you're gonna hear the fighting. No others but Sion and his brother want to move. And then maybe just a few days later, you're going to say that, yeah, another fighting right there. Yep, that's two brothers. Good news all the time, right? So how we, so to love, even, brother, we, not really we hate each other, right? But we fight all the time. And then you tell me that to love your enemy, that will be worse, right? Your own brother, and you fight each other, your enemy, you're going to fight, maybe 10 times more, right? You're going to go so hard for, your enemy. But Jesus Christ said to love your enemy. How can be possible, right? Like I say, your own brother, you can't even love good enough, right, to love it. And the enemies, they're going to be, you will be saying, Lord, impossible, right? But if you, really, out of love, but the only love that you can love your enemies is not a human love, It means with the love of God, God love. That's why, because in the Bible say even when we are, his enemy, he loves us so that he give up because he demonstrate his love, right? The Bible say. So, and now, because when we truly we love someone, when we really love, that's why what I want to mention is the main the center point of everything is love. If you love someone, you're going to be sacrifice yourself, and you're going to be and you put the offer to other the one you love. You're going to give them a hope. You're going to be pity on them. You're going to have a sympathy, empathy. You have a compassion, and now you're going to be everything while you're doing is you're going to focus on the one you love. This is what the love mean is. So it means you put everything before for yourself. So so the question is, like the earlier say, Jesus is asking us, each and every one here, including myself. He asked us, "Do you love me?" And if we, and like I said earlier, right, all our answer are going to be yes, we do, Lord. And then we have to demonstrate how we really love Him by to show Him that we really love Him, and that's just the action is request. So I don't know how to continue and say. So how are we going to be? That is depend on us. our answer to make our action, our answer, our action follow our answer, right? So if you say yes and then you answer yes and your action go different way, it mean we all liar, right? So so that's what I want to uh, uh, share for tonight. So you know. Um, sometimes you preaching is really like a thing. You can start up, but you try to figure out how to end it. Like one of the the time of we have her. I think we have her some like a Bible study in a Bowling Green or Owensboro, right? No, um, I can't remember, but one of the brothers say, right, you can start out, but you can end at this is how, you been preaching, yeah, I try to, try to figure out how to, come to conclusion, with the end of the, but, yeah, they're pretty much, so let's, demonstrate our, answer, by, and I know that, so that why, that's how, yeah, I mean, sometimes because, what, also, the love come, when you love, the people, you want to give them hope, you want to, and also you want to see, their life is good, you want to see their life, they live in a good life. And, but that's why, sometimes because you're going to be facing, like a harsh time, right? Because, some people going to come and correct you. When your action is, have a lean to a different, start taking the action. And maybe your parents or maybe your brother and sister or maybe and someone coming in, they're going to tell you, hey, the way you're doing is not right or, like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And you have to consider that, sometimes not because they hate you and they don't want you to have a good life, then they discipline you. The discipline mean is because they want you to be a good, they want to see your life is good. So I want to, also encourage and, and every time when you have maybe your parents or maybe your brothers or maybe, in relatives, when they come and correct you, and especially with the word of God, you have to very pay attention because, not because, um, have you ever, like, when you hate someone, you go to and correct them because of their action, the bad action, right? Because, let's say someone, their life, it go quick, and because let's say you hate someone and you see their life go right there, you will like, keep going, right? Because you hate that. You want it to be, the go, upside. Their lives are like a, miserable, right? But when you love someone, when you see that, no, he can afford it. No, not right. Yeah, you want to, you want to, correct them and, in the right path, right? Yeah, this is all, and it consider, that is because they love you. And every time when you're fixing like that, I want you, especially you're young, and you start growing up. You have a lot of things to learn from on this this world. Especially I want to encourage the young kid. It can be your pastor, can you be a teacher, and the mostly because the pastor and the teacher are going to have a leader. Like they have a scare to correct you, but especially when you come with the parents. When the parent discipline you, they tell you, and I want you, consider their word very carefully and then listen, because that's why, I want to show, one, the last before we finish up. Oh, uh, I don't know. I take that long. Have we already heard about the two the son, right? With a certain man have two sons, and the younger he asked all his belonging, one day he gonna inherit from his father, right? But the hardest thing is you're gonna be heaven when only when your parents pass away, right? But his father was still alive, and he go to father just give all my belonging, and I'm gonna leave the house. His father said okay. He split his, and he gave all his belonging to, and the younger son, he pack up, he just go to other, for the far country, and spend all his, his money, right? And one day the family come and now also his all wealth is gone, and he need money, and then he have to start looking for the job, right? And the job that he have is he have to look after the swamp, right? Look, feeding pig. The pig is, especially for the Jewish people, that's an awful thing. In the commandment, they're not even allowed to touch, especially for the dead one, right? The alive is a little, maybe the dead one is the worst. And then he had to feed the pig, the swamp, and because they had no food, and then he had to do all things, and then maybe in the afternoon or evening, depending on what time his work done, and then his owner gonna be giving money, and then he be able to buy food, right? And he start thinking like, I was here and stuff to that, and now he thinking about his, his servant at his father's house. They eat good, they sleep good, but he's way better than his life. And he was like, he thinking like, okay, I'm gonna go back to my father. I'm gonna apologize to him, and I'm gonna tell him, Father, I'm not worthy as your son to be called. Just treat me as your servant, and then I will be, okay. You know why he thinking like this? Because he see, his father love. He see like, I am the son. Even, he see the father love that even the servant, right? My father treat them so well, so good, feeding, treat them so well. He see his father love. That's why he able to, to think about it. I'm going to go back, even not a son, but as a servant. My father be treat me so good, I would be, as long as if I can, live close to my father love. That's good enough for me. I don't need anything else. I don't even, want it to be called the son. And then he went home, and when he arrived home, and he, we all know the story. His father looked forward, probably every day, right? One, he saw his son, return home. He's so happy. He jumped out and go, before his son get to home, house. He already halfway, to welcome his son. And then when we look at the story, let's say we read the Bible. I want to point out two things, and I will be finished, right? And now, yeah, when we look at it, I want to point out two things, and especially when we look at Luke 15. If you have a Bible, please open up. Luke 15. And I want to look at the verse 18. And let's read together. And I want to, point out two things, especially for the young, right? And I will arise and go to my father, and will say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. Have you seen two things right there? He said he sinned again. The heaven and his father. So, and also the Bible says, honor your parents, right? If you really love God, this is the way please God. So I want to, especially that's why, sometimes when we don't listen to our parents, we not only, make upset our parents, we also make, upset God, who is in heaven too. So that's why he say that, because he right here, actually he just sinned against his father, right? He just rebelled. His father took all his belongings. He went out, but he come back and he say, sin against, first he say heaven, and then before you. So that's why something in our life we have to very careful. But when we rebellion, not only the parents, also heaven, right? So, and I want to encourage each and every one, for tonight. And be Jesus. Remember the question, and also remember our answer. And let's demonstrate how really how we love, uh, and Jesus Christ, how we love God, and also remember love comes with discipline. So every time when we're facing harsh time with the discipline, remember that's all for your own good. That's why I want to preach and share and encourage each and every one, including myself, for tonight. And all glory to God, and may God bless you.